Welcome to Turn Writing Fear Around podcast. Simple methods to overcome fear and start writing again. I'm Elise Hittinger, and I'm the host for your Journey to Courage. This is episode 21, The Genie on Your Shoulder. Words are so powerful. Since I was little, I knew deep down inside that God would provide. And I brought home my first pony when I was 5 years old. So all I did was prove to myself that words are powerful and that God would provide. I knew I would have a pony. I didn't know how it would happen, but I knew I would have a pony. And my mom, she said, well, when you can afford to buy a pony, you can have a pony. And that was all it took. From that moment on, I think I was like 2 or 3. I wasn't very old. From that moment on, I saved all my birthday money. I went to work for the elderly neighborly sisters, dusting their house and keeping them company. They paid me 25 cents a day to come, mostly keep them company, but do some dusting. And I saved up all that money. And the first thing I learned to read was the classified ads, pony section. And when I turned 5, I had enough money and I found a pony in the ads and I called the number and she gave me where she lived and I knew right where it was. It was right around the corner from us. And so I went and bought a pony when I was 5. And that just snowballed. That snowballed into my mom's words were powerful. The words I had inside my head were powerful. Words are powerful, and we so many times forget that, especially with horses. We forget how powerful our words are, how powerful our self-talk is. If we're sitting there saying, I'm afraid, I can't do this, I don't want to get on, guess what? That's what's going to happen. So let's talk about the outcomes of our words and our thoughts. I wrote down in a journal, someday I want a horse just like Atticus. He was $80,000. He was a big jumper, way out of my league, and I knew it would never happen. So I wrote, someday I want a horse just like Atticus. And guess what? 3 years later, Atticus was mine. I brought along a horse off the racetrack that I bought for $1,000. She was so amazing. And she won all the hunter classes. And the Atticus's owner was just tired of doing the jumpers. And she came to me and she says, hey, would you like to trade? I would love your mare. And I traded. I traded a mare I bought off the track for $1,000 for an $80,000 jumper. And I had him till the day he died. He was an amazing horse. But I put out there, someday I want a horse just like Atticus. And I manifested it. Well, I did the same thing with my fear. Also, when I was little, I used to track how many times I got bucked off. Today on the calendar, I'd mark 2 times. Tomorrow on the calendar, I'd mark 2 more times, total of 4, total of 10, total of 20. Guess what I was focused on? Guess what the words in my head are? Oh, wonder how many times I'm going to get bucked off today. Oh, wonder how many times I'm going to get bucked off today. Wonder how many times I'm going to get bucked off. And guess what? When I got to 483, I went, this is ridiculous. I'm going to start counting how many times I get to ride and I don't come off. And I don't think I got bucked off after that. Well, I went to a seminar 20 years ago or so, and they said, think about life and your words and your thoughts as having a genie sitting on your shoulder. And the genie doesn't say, I will grant you 3 wishes. The genie says, your wish is my command. And the genie can hear every thought and every word you speak. And that was so powerful for me. That really changed a lot of things in my life. I had self-talk that was negative. I had doubts. And I would think, oh, I don't want the genie to hear that. I want the genie to hear this instead. So set realistic expectations. Don't just try and do this all at once. And maybe even put a sticky note on your shoulder for a few days. Tell my genie, your wish is my command. And just start really thinking about what are you saying to that genie sitting on your shoulder who says, your wish is my command. And see how that changes your life when you start changing your words and changing your thoughts. Your wish is my command. If you've enjoyed this, I'd like to offer you 6 steps to making better choices. It's a free guide. I put it together because I realized I was making not so good choices in my life. And if you're interested, I'll put a link in the description. You guys have an amazing, wonderful day. See you.